All right, so welcome to the second North Iowa Blogger Blab session. And I'm Val Plake, and I'm in charge for tonight. I blog at Corn Beans, Pigs, and Kids. And since I was taking hosting lead, I'm like, oh my goodness, what are we going to talk about? And last month, several North Iowa bloggers went to the Iowa Blogger Conference in Fort Dodge, and one of the breakout sessions was from Deb Brown, who's here with us. And I just really enjoyed her breakout session about just developing you as a brand. So I thought we would work off that. So Deb, you want to say a little something, introduce yourself?
Well, hi, I'm Deb Brown, and I blog at needalittleadvice.com, and I primarily cover two things. First of all, small towns. I'm a small town enthusiast, so I like to write about all things small town related. And on Sunday, I do my Sunday update, and that's my health journey. This whole business of aging, some days it's good, and some days it's interesting. That's the best way I can put it. And I'm a social media fan. Most of you guys know me in reference to social media and blogging. So when I had the opportunity to talk at Iowa Central about you as a brand, it was a lot of fun for me. I had spoken to the classroom there, to the students about that, and was asked to come back and speak at the Bloggers Conference about it. So I'm glad that you guys were there. And what do you want to talk about today about that, Val?
Well, I thought what we would do is kind of hopefully for right now we've got Abby logged on and whoever watches it later is to maybe start by thinking about how do we define who we are. I know Deb kind of stumped me at the conference by saying, who are you? What's your saying or your motto or whatever? And I had one. I just didn't say it off the top of my tongue, and I really wish I would have because I knew what it was. So I thought maybe we could just talk through how to come up with whatever who you are is, if that is.
Well, how do you identify yourself as a brand? So one of the things I did talk about, there's no longer you as a mom and you as a blogger and you as a business person. Those lines all merge now. So tell us, you have a very good mission statement, who you are, Val. Share with us who you are as a human being.
Yeah. Mine is that I live by this saying, grow where you are planted. I'm here in North Iowa, and I'm doing everything to make the best for my family, my farm, and my community by what I do. So that's me in a nutshell. And when you have that saying or whatever put together, you use it so often, as your elevator speech, or if you're blogging. I have a company that one of my posts is going to be shared on, and they wanted a, 2-sentence bio blurb on me. Voila, there it is. So it's something that everyone needs to think about and make sure they have in their bag of tricks. So I know Sarah, she's got a couple maybe identities a little bit. So how do you define yourself?
Traveler social media enthusiast that resides in the Midwest, and I just want to encourage people to live life through the fullest through travel and social media. That's me in a nutshell.
Yes. Combine everything there.
Yeah, it's short, sweet, kind of to the point. That's what I do. That's what I am. That's what I'm about. Mm-hmm. It's interesting, though, how, I could say that now, but I do wonder what I will say in a year from now. Do any of you see that it could be different from what it is now?
Not so much for me.
Me neither.
But I think for me, I guess it probably won't be different, but I can say that it took 7 years to get that statement, and I honestly think it's going to stick for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to stress to someone that's maybe just starting and trying to find their place. Just because you set that mission statement, today, or what you are, your elevator pitch, that doesn't mean that it's not going to change.
Right.
All in an Iowa Mom's Day is there. It's not really who I am anymore. It's there. It's out there. I am that, but my focus is on the travel and social media.
Well,
Does that
and
make sense?
yeah, and your boys are grown now, so
Right.
you have changed.
Yeah. So that's different, but that's what I guess I'd like to stress to someone that's new or beginning. Is just be open to that change and some flexibility if you need to along the way, because it's not A, B, C, D, it's A, Z, N, T, whatever, all over the place sometimes. And that's kind of when you maybe have to have that defining moment. So a great topic, great, something to really make us think.
I have to say, like, when I started my blog over 4 years ago, the title of my blog, Corn, Beans, Pigs, and Kids, which in hindsight is way too long now, 4 years down the road, but that was my elevator speech. I would say, hi, my name's Val Plagy, and I raise corn, beans, pigs, and kids on my farm in North Iowa, which I still use, but it doesn't encompass everything that I am or that I like to share, especially on my blog. So, so even in 4 years' time, my life has changed by adding, 3 more kids. But other than that, it's stayed pretty much the same. But even, my goals or my mission statement has changed some.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I'm a small town enthusiast, a traveler, a writer, a speaker, a misfit, and a legend. And eventually it'll just be legend because it just wraps it all up, So, yeah, I could see it changing, but I'll always be a small town enthusiast and a traveler. Those two things. And you could tie it all up in legend.
Yeah.
Well, and I think if anyone out there is trying to think on what their mission statement or who they are, an easy way to think about it is hopefully what are you passionate about, and also what do you write about on your blog or want to share about on social media. Hopefully those two are the same thing, and it can help you start coming up with an idea on who you are and what your mission statement is. And also another thing always in the blogging world is how I guess you can stand out a little bit from everyone else. I mean, we all know how many blogs are out there in this world. So trying to get your own spin or angle on it to make it a little unique so you stand out compared to the masses.
Well, and I think when you first start writing, you kind of write about a little bit of everything, don't you? When you first start blogging, unless you're just really great, and then you start to narrow it down on what your focus is.
Yeah, I think that's very true. And a lot of and just writing, it helps you find your focus, and you get better as a writer the more you write.
Hopefully.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I think about my blog. I continually refocus or try to remember what is the reason, why am I blogging? What do I really want to share? I'm always reevaluating that because I feel like as a blogger, it's so easy to get sidetracked on different opportunities. And, there are things that I took advantage of earlier in my blogging career that I pass on now just because it's not where I want to go. But yet it's so exciting to get opportunities. You don't want to pass by when you first get them. And yeah. So I think everyone continually reevaluates what they really want on their blog and what they're sharing on social media. So one thing I wrote down is, when people start thinking about this mission statement and what they're passionate about, what they're writing about, these are all good things to write down and include on your blog on an About Me page. I can't get over how many people click on my About Me page. It's like one of the most viewed pages on my blog, but it's a great place for people to get an idea of who you are, and it's a great place for you to share who you are and what your favorite things about your blog are, or favorite blog posts. So do you guys have any tips on About Me pages?
Well, it's an opportunity to showcase what you want people to know about you.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't have any ads or anything on my blog. For me, my blog is just an introduction to who I am and what I'm writing about. So, as you know, I speak at different places. So my About Me page is really for those people that want me to come speak to get to know me a little bit better. It's where I build relationships at. So that's why it's important to have my About Me be more about what I speak about and a little bit on how you get to know me. So it's a little bit different. If I were a different kind of blogger, I'd have it set up differently.
Yeah, I think it's kind of can even be your elevator pitch in your About Me.
It could be, yeah.
And it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be difficult. A nice picture, I think, something that represents you would be nice to have on there, but it doesn't have to be long.
Yeah.
Most people probably aren't going to read the whole thing.
Hey.
There's Alicia.
Oh, and bringing up the photo, Sarah, when I was thinking through tonight's blab, I think it's good for everyone to get a photo that they're going to use that looks nice and use it throughout all of their social media platforms. I know that was one of the tips that Deb gave at the Iowa Blogger Conference, and it just helps create that unified identity for your brand. So, and it's something to keep updated too. It's always fun when you go somewhere and the person looks nothing like their profile photo because they haven't updated it in forever. So I realize it can be hard and time gets away from us fast, but remember to update the profile photos and update the About Me page too that we talked about earlier.
Well, on my blog today on Travel with Sarah, somebody messaged me that my contact form wasn't on there anymore. They didn't know how to contact me, and I was like, where'd that go? So in one of my little nights where I was cleaning things up or whatever, I must have gone. So thank God somebody pointed it out to me. So I guess that was a lesson learned there. Kind of check that stuff now and then, just to see if it's even there. That was my case today, actually.
Yeah. So we have Alicia from the Pork Diaries that joined us as well.
Hey.
We're talking about, developing you as a brand, and we've been talking about mission statements. What's your mission statement, Alicia?
My mission statement, it's part of my logo actually, and it says from the people who grow it to the people who cook it. So
perfect. Yeah, having like that catchy saying, I think, is something for everyone to think about, and the taglines that a lot of us have on our blogs to help give a little more information beyond the title. That's the great spot to put it. So, which makes me think, I wonder what my tagline is. I'm going to check my blog right now. I know I have one. Discovering fields of opportunity as a farmer, wife, mom, and volunteer.
I love it.
Got to use those Travel Iowa statements, steal them.
There you go.
Since Alicia joined us, I asked her to join us because I want people to know it's never too late to change, your brand or identity, or to really rework it. How long ago did you change to the Pork Diaries, Alicia?
It was in December.
In December? Okay, so it hasn't been that long. And I know it was, you thought about it for a long time. So kind of walk us through maybe making that decision, or what made you decide that you needed to change or update.
Well, it just didn't really fit. My blog was going in other places, and I just enjoyed writing about food, and it just kind of evolved, and it was easier to write about, and it was just something that came natural. So I kind of regret, the fact that I was so focused on fitness and stuff at the beginning. But now I love it. It's me, and I just feel like it fits me and what my family does more. So
Yeah. Yeah, because you've actually even kind of rebranded yourself twice now.
oh yeah. Well, I made the switch from originally my very first blog was Au Pair Pigs, and it was about pigs. It was egg focused. And then when I switched to WordPress, I didn't even have my own domain. So I thought, oh, I'll just create my own domain, and I kind of refocused a little bit. And so I don't know, I guess in the last three years, I think, I've learned a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So you brought up buying your domain, Deb. I know that was an important thing that you shared and pointed out to everyone that attended your breakout session at the Iowa Blogger Conference. Tell us a little bit about the importance of buying your URL, your domain.
Well, you own your own content. So if you don't own your own domain, somebody else can own it. So I own debworks.com, but I don't own debworks.net, and somebody else does. So if you Google DebWorks, I'm mostly all of the front page except for debworks.net, and somebody else has that. So silly me, instead of buying all three, debworks.com, .net, and .org, I didn't do that. I just got deb.com. So yeah, it's a mistake I regretted.
So you even recommend buying .net and .org as well?
Yep, I do.
After the conference, I bought valplaguey.com. I haven't told the other Val Plaguey that I know, but I don't think she's looking for a website. But there are at least two of us. But I just did the .com. But now maybe I should go out and also buy the .net and .org.
Well, usually you can get it pretty cheaply. So.
What?
Yeah, you just redirect it to your other one. I mean, you don't have to. It makes it much easier.
Right.
And with a name like Deb Brown, I mean, that belongs. You just Google Deb Brown, and you're going to find it's a woman that has killed several people. So I didn't want that one. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Val Plaguey's a little more unique than Deb Brown. Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit. But yeah, if you can own your name, that'd be great. I was trying to think which political person, Jeb Bush, didn't buy his own name, or he let it expire and somebody else owns it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, Donald Trump. Wasn't it Trump
Was it
that
Trump
bought it?
that bought it? Yeah, one of the other guys bought it.
Trump bought it. Yes.
Big
Yes,
mistake.
I forgot about that.
So for the price of $15, $20, you should really just buy your own name if you can. Yeah.
Well, even I think the last election cycle, Michelle Obama was, promoting someone and gave the wrong website. Man, I forget who it was, but gave the wrong website, so their competitor bought it and redirected it to theirs. So, the rival in the election was like, well, I'll take advantage of this mistake. So, and yeah, Deb, you brought up that domains are not that expensive, to buy in the whole scheme of things. So if you can get a lock on your name, who you are, what your brand is, do it.
Yep.
So.
And again, be consistent with it, By the way, I love the Pork Diaries. What a great name. That's
you.
Just brilliant. Yeah.
Thank you.
Which, talking about domain names, so when I decided to also buy valplaguey.com, I was wondering, because I use Plaguey Val for like Twitter and Instagram, if I should also buy that or not. And the reason how I got my Twitter name's Plaguey Val is because when I started Twitter back in whenever, that was like how they had everyone do their names there for a long time, is their last name followed by their first, I feel like. So
Is
And I
Val Plaguey taken on Twitter?
I don't know.
How many followers do you have at Plaguey Val?
I can tell you in just a little bit.
You can change your handle.
There's a Val Plaggy that has 17 followers.
Oh,
Bummer.
yeah, I've got
Bummer.
2.
They haven't tweeted since April of 2013.
Oh, it's a Valerie.
I bet. Wonder if you could contact Twitter, or since it's sat dormant for so long, you may be able to.
Yeah,
Is it?
I
don't know.
should check, because you know what? Even I see like the Ag Chat Foundation 10 days ago
I found that.
put me as at Val Plaguey instead of at Plaguey Val.
Mm.
Oh,
I
actually,
see that. That popped
a whole
up right
bunch
away.
of these are all actually supposed to be at me instead of what it is.
And Pork Diaries was taken, so I just put an extra S on the end and was okay with that for Twitter. It comes up the same way, and people know who I am, so it's just kind of.
Yeah. Making myself a note to check into the at Val Plaguey for Twitter. I wonder if Instagram's the same way.
Okay, you've got some work cut. There, you found a job
Yeah,
tonight now.
right. Oh man. One
Yeah, I
thing.
mean, Deb Works was taken on Instagram, so I'm Deborah in Iowa. I know, I really hate that, but you know, you can't get everything. And I use Instagram, but just personally, not professionally.
Okay. So did you change your Instagram handle then too, Alicia?
Yeah. I was at Fit and Farm, but then it changed. The only thing I couldn't change was the my Facebook URL, because when they only let you change it once if you're a page. And so when I very first started that, I was Au Pair Pigs for like, I don't know, a month, and then I got my own domain and I changed it. And so my Facebook URL is actually facebook.com/fitandfarm, but the name is actually The Pork Diaries. So if you search The Pork Diaries on Google, it will come up as, my Facebook page will come up as The Pork Diaries. The URL is just different. So when you change your name on Facebook and you've already changed the URL, it's not really that big a deal. So it's just that the only thing that's different is the URL. So
Okay. Good to know for anyone that's thinking about making the change. And so, another thing that I wanted to bring up about when you're developing you as a brand is, especially at the very beginning, I mean, you need content on your blog in order to get anywhere with your blog. But at the same time, I would rather have quality over quantity. Now, granted, I have been blogging for 4 years now, so I can say that a little bit easier. But does anyone want to talk about the importance of quality content on blogs to get you started and get going? Maybe forever.
Well, I think you have to have good content, I guess. And if you're questioning about your content, your first post especially, have a buddy read it. If you want to look professional and you want to look like you know what you're doing and you're proud of it, have somebody else read it. And maybe you're just passionate, you just want to write, go for it, and just look at it when you read it and think, wow, was that something that would catch my eye, or would that keep me there, or would I click right away? If you can look at it from the other person's point of view, I think you have a better chance at keeping them there.
Are you using an editorial calendar? What are you using? How are you using a blog? What's the purpose of your blog? What do you want to do with that? Are you using an editorial calendar? What's the point of your blog? And, right?
anymore, but I used to write twice a month, and for a while I was writing, trying to write once a week. But
And there for a long time, I wrote every day for 3 months
wow.
just to write. But a blog doesn't have to be more than 2 or 3 paragraphs.
Yep.
Right.
And I I followed Chris Brogan, and he's crazy. He can write 3,000 words a day every day.
Mhm.
Crazy in a good way. Don't misunderstand.
Yeah.
Find somebody you really like, and find a couple of people you really like what they have to say on their blog, and try to emulate them based on what they have to say.
Yeah.
That feels, see how that feels.
I've been more focused on this the past month is to get back into commenting more on blogs.
Oh, that's
And
so
I've really noticed the past week, actually, some of the blogs I was reading, I found myself really looking at that and thinking, oh, I never thought of doing that way. That was really a neat idea. I thought, honestly, that's the first time I ever looked at posts like that. And it was a good thing. It was a good thing. I think, we get caught up in, I don't know, just commenting and looking at things in a different way, which is good.
read more. Read what other people write. Read more. That helps too. You're a better writer if you read more.
And it comes with ideas, and you get so many good ideas off of other people. So and other angles.
Well, yeah, I even had a note written down about, it's not just quality of like your blog post, but the integrity and sincerity that you do on social media, and also in commenting on others' blogs. So I've gotten a pretty good groove here the last week since spring cleaning started. For some reason, I feel like I need to stay up till midnight after and read blogs, but it's too much fun, or at least at the moment I could be. But or who knows? Maybe I'll be responding to blogs at 3 a.m. So you gotta find your groove. But I mean, even when people comment on my blog, but they actually put more time and thought and energy into the comment, it just means more, and I appreciate it more. So I want to comment on people's blogs just so they know that I'm there and I'm reading, to keep it up, to encourage them.
It's a lot when people comment on my blog, and I try to comment back. Just to say thank you I hear you, or just something, it means a lot to me when people comment on my blog. So it's awesome. And I gotta stay off Facebook. I find myself on Facebook too much, scrolling through and clipboard and looking at their apps that have articles and blogs and stuff on them, and that helps a lot too. So my brain is doing other things than Facebook. So
That also forces you clicking the comment on the actual blog post instead of, we all like comment on Facebook, but the comment on the post itself means more to me than the Facebook comments.
yes.
I think it does to all of us. They're all important, but it's pretty balanced.
Well, and as a person that counts the number of comments that I get on my blog each month and make a donation based off of it, there for a while I was talking with Beth Ann, who also does the same comments for a cause program on her blog. And we almost were talking about, is there something different we should be doing? Because it felt like comments were going down. People just weren't commenting on the actual blog as much anymore. But I'm not going to track comments on Facebook or Twitter, No. But it's kind of funny. Even just in the last week, I feel like my comments have went up quite a bit. So who knows, people, I think, they always come back to the importance of actually going to the blog post and commenting on it. So
Good. Glad to hear that.
yeah. So, and just bringing in something new and different helps people also comment again, or maybe they comment because it's just a little bit different or out of the ordinary from what I normally post. So
I'm going to step out. So if somebody else wants to take my seat, they can. Maybe Rob. I see Robin's here, and Donna will probably be coming along here soon. So I'm going to step out, you guys, and leave the seat open. Okay.
See you later,
right.
Sarah.
Okay. Bye.
And I'm actually not too far behind her too, because I have an early morning.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me on. Anything else you want to ask me before I run out of here?
I don't think so. Thanks again for presenting at the Iowa Blogger Conference and inspiring this month's Blab session, Deb.
I'm so honored. Thank you.
I
love
just
you guys.
Coming on for a while and talking through things as well. So
you rock. I'll talk to you guys. Oh, Robin's got a fussy baby. We love fussy babies. All right, guys. I will talk to you later, okay?
Okay,
Bye-bye.
sounds good. Thank you, Deb.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, Alicia, I know you missed the first part, but not too much of it. But we've kind of went through quite a few of my ideas or points that I wanted to talk about tonight. Does anyone? Thank you to Sarah for putting out what Beth Ann's blog is. There's been several North Iowa bloggers that have started Comments for a Cause on their blog. You know, maybe it's not on a regular basis, but I know Abby's done it in the past who's on, and Katie has done it as well. So it's something fun. I enjoy it because it's a way of giving back, and that's just who I am. So
yeah.
But I guess for when you're thinking about developing your brand or your mission statement, what are some things you recommend people to think about, Alicia?
Well, I guess what I would, make sure that you don't limit yourself. That was the big thing that I learned from my previous blog, was that I felt like I limited myself, and I didn't really feel like my purpose or my mission was all encompassing. And I now feel like I have more freedom, and I'm not writing about something that isn't going to interest my people, my followers, because they think I'm going to write about fitness. So don't limit yourself. That's my biggest piece of advice. So
yeah, that's a great thing. You want to have some type of structure, obviously, but at the same time, you don't want to be too specific, because then you're going to run out of ideas, or your focus, your focus might change, and it might not work anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. So
yeah. I know when people ask me, what type of blog I have, I just tell them I have a lifestyle blog, because really anything, when you say you have a lifestyle blog, you can talk about anything that's part of my lifestyle, which I am sharing all about me and who I am on the farm and all my roles. So yeah, lifestyle is the best way of summing that all up and not getting too specific, but at the same time, hopefully giving me at least a little bit of a boundary. So
yeah, yep, exactly.
Sarah asked, are there any specific editorial calendars that you recommend? I know for me personally, I don't use, any set stone editorial calendar. I just have a Word document that I continually put ideas on and keep updated. It's just a rotating Word document. But I know I have used the Sits Girls. They have just some ideas. Each month has an idea for each day. And it can at least get you thinking if you're really running out of ideas. But I know for me personally, I have more ideas than I have time for, but I enjoy their, it's not really an editorial calendar, but it's at least a think tank calendar, I guess, for ideas. Do you use anything, Alicia?
No, my editorial calendar sits right next to my kitchen sink. It's just it's just like a little notebook that, because I always think of stuff when I'm cleaning, you know. So whenever I'm blogging and I say, "Oh, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna write," but then I just draw blanks. So when I clean and, you know, I get to thinking about things and I think, "Oh, I should write about that," you know. So I have this I just have this little notepad in the kitchen, and that's where my ideas are. So
Hey, you got to have it where you can get a hold of it when you need it, right?
Yep.
Here, I looked it up. The Sit Scrolls, they just call them writing prompts, is all it is. But it's broken out by month and each day. There's the link for it. I just posted it on the chat. And then I feel like there's so many photo apps here lately that I noticed just here a little while ago that they also have a photo prompt one too. And so I know in the North Iowa bloggers, there's been some discussion about Instagram, you know, and, you know, the importance of keeping that up regular with photos. So if you're wanting to keep your Instagram moving and up to date all the time, that might be a place for you to look at, to at least get an idea for maybe a photo for the day. So let's hear. For April 19th, you're supposed to do a photo with the rule of thirds. Tomorrow is I'm obsessed with, you know, just things for you to think about. But I feel like
is this a hashtag that you're following?
No, it's just the Sit Scrolls. They just have a lot of, I don't know, it's through Massive Sway, but they just have, you know, a lot of blogging tips, and I get emails from them and it's free, but then writing prompts, you can just go to their website and check them out. So
cool.
Yeah. And I think they probably just saw that from the people that follow them, that there was a need, or people were wanting to at least help with coming up with ideas for their blog. And obviously, photography has become a big interest. So, and I guess, are you on Snapchat, Alicia?
Yes, I am. I have contemplated, it's right now it's just personal friends, but I've contemplated opening that up, but it's like the last social media account I have that's private. So I just I'm still on the fence about it a little bit. So
well, I feel like I'm personally not on Snapchat, and I still don't fully know what it is, but I feel like it's gained a lot of interest here lately, and that even in our North Iowa blogger group, there's been discussion about how to use that for our blogs, for our businesses, and you know, going with the theme of tonight, developing you as a brand. If whatever social media platforms you're on, just to try to keep a unified voice between all of them so people know it's all the same person, is something to think about when you add another social network. Yeah. It looks like Sarah says that she's not using Snapchat right now, but she doesn't use it regularly. That would be another place to make sure you can snatch up your name. We talked about the importance of making sure you claim your name on everything.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I'd say even if you don't use it, just to make sure that you have it and not someone else, it'd be something to consider.
Yep, I would agree with that.
I'm adding that to my to-do list. Thank you, Sarah, for that tip. I might not use Snapchat, but at least to grab my handle so nobody else gets it. So it's okay, Sarah. I've been staying up late anyways. I've been telling everyone. Oh, and she also says Snapchat for business is happening.
Oh, good.
Yeah, too bad. Because I think Mary from the North Iowa Bloggers has been using it maybe for Natural Plus Nursery a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I want to say she started a Natural Plus Snapchat account. So it'd be interesting to hear more about that. And I know, so these lab sessions, we're going to do them every month, the third Tuesday of every month. And Donna will be the host of next month. I know we've talked about maybe one of these sessions to bring in some North Iowa businesses that the North Iowa bloggers have worked with. And maybe that's something that we should do for the next month, is talk about how North Iowa businesses are using social media and how they're working with the North Iowa bloggers, especially since like this week we've had like several opportunities this week, and I just feel like in the future we have a lot of things coming up, so it'd be maybe a great place to talk through those a little bit more.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. All right, and Jenny joined us. Thanks, Jenny, for joining us for the last little bit. If anyone wants to fill one of the extra seats and talk about how they develop their brand, we'd love for you to join in. I don't know if Jenny wants to hop on right away, or Abby's been listening in throughout the time. And, Robin, even with a fussy baby, will let you fill one of the seats. I feel like Robin has kind of also went through a journey of, developing who she is and what her brand is, and that maybe, it's always, we're evolving, but at the same time, hopefully keeping some type of a centered focus. So, anyone? So, Alicia, so tonight's session was inspired by going to the Iowa Blogger conference last month. What was your favorite thing that you participated in at the Iowa Blogger conference? Or what was the most interesting thing you learned?
I loved Deb's presentation and how she talked about increasing your Google search and all of that. I did not know I did not know half of those sites existed. So I'm working through those right now and working through her presentation and her links that she had so that I can kind of up my Google rating, I guess. So
yeah, which I mean, going back to the developing you as a brand, it was my favorite presentation too, hence we're talking about it tonight. But I'm sure all of us Google ourselves from time to time just to double check. But if you Google yourself and you see that it's not you popping up there, you've got something that you need to work on. And that was part of Deb's presentation, is making sure that when somebody Googles your name, they're finding you and not someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it might be like, and maybe do it on not your own computer, because that might change it a little bit too. But when I see mine, it looks pretty much all me. But I don't know. When was the last time you Googled yourself, Alicia?
I do not remember. I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
It also makes me think is everyone should get Google alerts for their name as well. I get Google alerts for my name, and I just have them come to me when one pops up. But so far, they've always been something that I've made aware of, that my name should be associated with whatever. but it would be a good thing for everyone to get a Google alert for their name as well, just so you're making sure you're staying on top of what other people are saying about you or whoever also shares your name. So it's all part of who you are.
I use a website called Talkwalker, and you can put in other things that it monitors besides your name. So you can put your website name, you can put your domain name, you can put all those things. So
I see.
Yep. And then you get like, you can choose how often you get an email alert. So you can choose if you want to get alerts every day or once a week, you can do that. So
really similar to Google Alerts, just a little bit different. I went to the website. They said that they're the best free and easy alternative to Google Alerts.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it sounds like they're pretty much set up the same way as Google Alerts. You can put in whatever keywords you want. So, and that would be a good thing if, if your blog is centered around a certain type of subject or content, to get Google Alerts on that so you can stay on top of news happening in that area. And I think we'd all agree, newsworthy blog posts always do well, or time-sensitive ones. When you can catch it at the right time or contribute your 2 cents worth with something happening in your area of expertise and interest of your blog, I mean, people are always interested in reading those and sharing those. They're very shareable, I guess. And so,
Val, have you ever changed the name of your blog, or did you always start with Corn, Beans, Pigs, and Kids?
Yeah. Earlier I said that the reason how come I even named my blog Corn, Beans, Pigs, and Kids, because that always used to be and still is my elevator speech. That my name's Val Plaguey and I raise corn, beans, pigs, and kids in North Iowa. And my husband and I were Iowa's DuPont Young Leaders back in 2011, 2012. And on the way home from the first session of that, Ian and I were just talking about how we talked about how we should share our story more, but we hadn't really done too much about it. But the session really helped us think through how we might do it. And the session was at the beginning of December, like the very beginning of December. So for the next month, I worked through and planned through everything, and I had my blog go live on January 1st. So it was a New Year's resolution that I've kept up now for 4 years. So,
good.
But yeah, so I've never changed it. Of course, somewhere down the line, I won't have kids at home, but that should be quite a while. And I was actually talking to Ian about that the other day. I'm like, our blog's still going to be relevant in 18 years when we don't have kids in our house anymore. And, am I even still going to be blogging at that point in time, or are we going to have to get goats? So I always have kids on the farm. So he was like, goats, really, really great goats. I'm like, hey, if I've been doing it for that long, I should probably keep up with the kids part. So he wasn't quite sure what to think about that.
Well, there will always be grandkids too.
Yes,
right?
well, I don't even want to think about that when I haven't even had all of them yet from us. But I know my mom says grandkids are the best thing ever. So
yeah,
she never imagined that she could love anyone as much as she does grandkids. So, but and maybe it will change down the road. But I don't know. And I brought this up earlier. Hindsight, my blog title is way too long, but I kind of, I feel like there's a lot more resources out there for somebody that's interested in starting a blog now, for you to think through, length of your blog, the title, and, there's a lot of resources out there for platforms, and I don't know. There's just, granted, 4 years ago doesn't seem like that long ago, but I feel like there's just a lot more resources out there for beginning bloggers to at least get some advice. And probably when I started my blog, I didn't really talk to any other bloggers before I started it. I just did it. Where now,
Yeah.
I bet a couple times a month I have somebody either send me a Facebook message or a tweet about how they're interested in starting a blog. And they just, these people are seeking out those that they know that blog, or they follow their blog just to get ideas before they even jump into the game. I maybe jumped into it without really thinking through it so much. So, yeah, I just feel like there's more resources, including the North Iowa bloggers, right? There's been different people that are in North Iowa that have contacted me, and I'm sure have contacted some other people in the group about, who the North Iowa bloggers all are, and if they start a blog, how they can join. And I mean, we really are a resource group and a support group. When I think about the vast variety of blogs that are part of the North Iowa bloggers and the different years of experience, it's nice to have this group around so you can always ask questions. So,
Yeah, we do have a really good diverse group of people that we just have a lot of different focuses, and that's really nice. We're not all food bloggers or travel bloggers, but we all write about North Iowa, so
yeah.
that's good.
Yes. I think does anyone have any questions out there on the live chat? Thanks for Sarah for posting a few things. She also agrees that her first blog, All in an Iowa Mom's Day, is too long, and that there are so many more resources today. Yeah. So, which, it just makes me think vlogging, it's been around for a while, but I feel like more and more people are interested in blogs, and I almost wonder if it's because of social media, because with social media, you have a shorter amount of space to really put across your point, and a blog is a great place to lead someone. So I feel like it's really increased the interest in blogging because of social media. And when I think about when I started my blog, social media wasn't even really part of the strategy at all with the blog. So, and now it's definitely part of the strategy, part of developing your brand is making sure you get all of the social media linked up with it too. So,
yeah,
how social media has changed our world. So,
it has
yes,
changed it a lot.
yes. So, I guess we'll just wrap it up. Thanks again for everyone that joined us today. And thanks again to Deb, who kind of inspired tonight from her awesome presentation at the Iowa Blogger Conference. We hope that hopefully some of the things that we've talked about tonight about developing your brand helps you think through more on what your brand is, what you want it to be, and hopefully coming up with that catchy saying, that short bio line that everyone needs, and you'll use a lot throughout your blogging career. And just to make sure, you have focus and don't interrupt yourself too much. And, your brand, not just your blog, across also your blogger blog will be May 17th, and you'll so if you have any ideas for the next session, contact Don, with the interested in participating in the Blab sessions, and if all fails, are a great resource for our group and anyone else out there in the blogging world. So thanks again for coming on, everyone. Thanks for sticking with me to the end, Alicia. And we hope you guys all have a good night. Thanks again from the North Iowa Bloggers.
Yep. Thank you for hosting, Val.
Yep, no problem.
We'll see ya.